Welcome back to The Experience, everybody. I am your host, Eric Falgu. And today I have a very special guest with me. Ray Sean Adams is my co-host. He came and hold it down tonight. And my second guest is a very special guy. I've been knowing him for 10 years. My buddy BB Tran introduced us. Shout out BB Tran. Thank you. I've learned a lot from this guy. He's a hard worker. He's fought for our country. He's an entrepreneur. Just an all-around bad motherfucker. So I'd like to give it up for David Theriot.
What's up, man?
Thanks for coming, bro.
I appreciate you having me.
How you like your voice on that microphone, bro?
It takes some getting used to.
Thanks for coming, Ray Ray. In the mic.
Welcome.
I feel like my mic sounds different right now. I don't know. It's so hard to do this, people. Like, we were trying to set it up, and David was watching me work and doing several jobs. And it's a lot to do. So I hope y'all are enjoying the show. We're really trying to bring y'all new experiences each and every episode, so they're not all going to be the same. Hence ADHD. And today, David is going to share his story with us, and I'm just going to kind of let him riff off and tell him who he is and tell him a little about us.
Yeah, man. So, David Theriot. I'm just another not so special guy living in this this big world of ours. Grew up in Houma, Louisiana. Bit of an outcast, bit of a nerd. Played on the chess team while I was out there. Had about 3 friends growing up in high school. Graduated. Came out here to go to UNO. Did my thing, not real well. Joined a fraternity. That was more of a priority than an education. We had some great times, made some great memories. Dropped out of UNO, went to Iraq for a year, played Army, got back from Iraq, tried to go back to school, went to Delgado, did a little thing for nutrition for a little bit, realized how much work that was going to be, signed another contract, went to Cuba and played Army for a year, and got back and I realized that I didn't want Uncle Sam writing the script for me anymore, so started a meal prep business with my partner David Shulkins, and we've been doing that for about the last 7 years with a couple little ventures here and there. I can tell you, man, like one of the hardest things for me over the entire period of doing Chomp and my other businesses is actually talking about myself. So this is going to be an interesting night.
David hates talking about who he is, people.
Yeah, it seems like you're a modest person too. Like you don't.
Yeah, he doesn't like. It's not bragging or boasting. Yeah. He just doesn't like to make it seem like, hey, look at me. I'm. You know, but he is a big deal. Just saying.
Man, I'm gonna say it, and you're gonna hear it a couple times tonight. It's like I don't think I'm anybody special. I'm just doing what needs to get done and trying to take a couple people along the way with me. You know.
Right.
You're like my David Goggins, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Real talk.
And why you feel like that? I mean, you know.
Well, because I met him through my buddy BB, and BB was like working out with me at a gym on the West Bank, and he was like, hey man, my boy David's gonna come train with us. I mean, but we met before that, or was it right around there?
It was like BB had made mention of you sometime, and then like he actually got you to come to the CrossFit gym like once or twice before, and we met and we kind of vibed off of that, and then it just kind of evolved from there.
And he started training with us, and he would meet me every day after he would drop off all the meals from Chomp. And every week I would ask him, because I think they started off with maybe 90 meals or 100 meals in 1 week. And then each week it would go up. I was like, bro, how many meals you dropped off? Because he would prep on Sunday and deliver the meals on Monday, right? Or did y'all prep on Saturday and Sunday?
So whenever we started, we were actually doing 2 deliveries a week. And we would do a Thursday and we would do a Sunday delivery.
And it was just you and him cooking?
Yeah, it was just me and him in his kitchen of this 600 square foot house. And so pretty much like every piece of apparel that we had smelled like whatever was getting cooked for the night, which was all one unified smell.
Right. That smoked chicken's beautiful.
So you were cooking and shirts?
Huh?
You were like cooking and you doing an apparel line?
No. It's just like the house that we were living in, like everything in there was just like one. It smelled like kitchen. And
dude.
That was
so y'all were cooking out of a house first?
Mm-hmm.
Tight.
Yeah, we started out of his house for like the first 6 months of operation, and then we just realized. So
hold up. I'm gonna get back to it. Let me finish the workout story.
Yeah.
Don't tell them everything, bro. I gotta bring everybody back, guys. ADHD. And so we started working out really hard, and he would always like tell me like how many meals they had each week. And it, he was always just like a hustler, a go-getter. I mean, he'd be sleeping in his car because he went from like train, this client at this gym, train this other client at another gym. And he was working out like 2 or 3 times a day. He was just like a beast. And I mean, I remember when he told me he had like 250 meals, and I was like, holy shit, bro, that's a lot. He's like, yeah, we're not doing too bad. But he's like never bragging. He's just like, he always feels like he could do better.
Right.
And that's the type of person this dude is. And it's like, that's why he has this businesses now. But I'll let him tell you about the food company.
Yeah, man. So with Chomp, like we realized there was kind of a natural progression. So we were actually in the middle of a cook one night, and my business partner had this round glass table that we would put like pretty much all the product on. Throw a couple towels down, it'd be perfectly fine. Well, one night we're in the middle of prep, and it's our first time hitting like 300 meals, and this was early. This was like in the first 6 months, and in the middle of the night, we end up going, like, we pulled something that had been cooling for a bit, and then we pulled something from the oven, and we put it on this table, and the table explodes. Like,
y'all were cooking on gas?
Huh?
Y'all were cooking gas or?
No, we were cooking on, I think it was an electric stovetop at the time, but we had pulled something from the oven, and we put it on this table, and the heat and the cool just like, the table explodes, and half of our inventory for the night just goes. Like, there's nothing we could do to save it, like, unless we were just gonna lie to people and say it's like, oh, don't worry about that dog hair or whatever that's in the food.
Holy shit.
But luckily,
and I know you have like 6 cats. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. No, just one really horribly shedding dog. And so we lose half the product for the night, and it was like, okay, the dream's done. It's over. Everybody's going to be mad at us. And luckily, we were still operating, I think, out of 3 gyms. So we do deliveries to different gyms around the city. And we were operating out of just a couple gyms, and it was still all people that were really close to us. So I just like send out a mass text message because that's how close everybody was.
Right.
And it's like, hey, I owe you. Like, can we just go ahead and like do a refund or just run it again next week? And they were super cool with it. But like that was like the defining moment. It's like, okay, I don't know what it's called, but we got to find like a kitchen space that's going to work for us. And then like we start the search, and then we got into our first shared space after that, which was
I remember that, dude.
Yeah, it was a commissary kitchen uptown.
I like grew with this dude like his first year or and a half, 2 years like of his business. It was pretty cool. Like like watching him just keep moving up.
That's dope as fuck, man.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
man,
that's dope.
Like the whole thing is a blur, and it's like my business partner and I started out as like absolute best friends, and then we had our nights that we were at each other's throats, and there's days where it's like we couldn't look at each other because the nights had gotten so long and stuff like that. But like at the end of the day, man, like I am truly thankful that he came along this journey with me, because this wasn't something that I was gonna be able to do by myself. Right. And it's like this was kind of the defining moment in my life where I was just like, we have to do something, or we're just gonna be a slave to the normal work machine for as long as it's gonna have a grip on us. Like we're gonna die and not have made an impact in this world, and that's it. So this was a moment, like we were at the Bulldog in Mid City. And like we're just hashing out names, and like Chomp came out of nowhere. We were just working it out. I'm like, I want the name to be an acronym, and for no reason, for absolutely no reason. So what a lot of people actually don't know is Chomp stands for Custom Healthy Online Meal Prep. So
damn.
like that's where it came from. And actually, like whenever we started, the O had zero meaning because we were just doing everything like word of mouth and like talking to people in the gym. So it was just like CHMP. And then the O was just a mouth. It's like, okay, it's just got to be something. This works for the name. We're gonna be like Chomp NOLA. It's like, oh yeah, monkeys. That's gonna do it. That's gonna get people to buy food.
You're like one of the best like marketing media people. Like the way he networks, dude, is 100% savage.
And that's dope as fuck because, you know, I'm the same way. I like shit inside of shit, almost like an oxymoron.
Yeah,
like, that's dope as fuck.
Well, honestly, man, like we took the idea, and right around that time, I had met my girlfriend Kelsey Scott, and she owns Scotty Art, and she was like upstart business at the time too. Right. And she knocked it out of the park. You know, she put the design together.
Dude. She
awesome. Put the design together. She gave us an identity. She gave us a brand, and like she's done a ton for like the companies that I put together since.
She's helped you create your visions.
Yeah, man. It's like because I'm every bit
like she did all the digital art and whatnot.
Yeah,
dude, that's badass.
Because
I love the logo. I always have.
Yeah, I'm good with throwing stuff out there and just like, okay, I need you to make this stick.
Right.
Because I'm gonna just come up with another idea, and it's like, okay, well, I need you to keep up.
No, it's definitely sticking, bro. It's sticking.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so David also is into fitness big time, clearly, and he trains a lot of people. So
yeah, so honestly, Chomp started because I was coaching at a CrossFit gym in the Elmwood area at the time, and I was just kind of posting on social media. And my clients were just saying, it's like, man, I wish somebody would cook for me like that. And it would kind of be joking, and it would kind of be in passing and stuff like that. And so one day, my boss, the owner of the gym, walks up and is like, hey, how about you just start providing meals for members of the gym? We'll give you a space to be able to do it. We have some cooler space and stuff like that you can do. Didn't ask for anything, just said, hey, run with it. And he's like, I'm going to help you along the way. Well, he helped me by introducing me to an audience at least. So, right. Whenever it was going to start, I was like, oh, I got this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just do this by myself. And I realized, I was like, that's a bad idea. I was like, I have David, who is like my best friend, and he was my section chief in the Army. Right. And he actually had like, a decade of experience cooking in like high-end restaurants in New Orleans at the time. So I'm like,
damn,
that's a no-brainer.
That's
like,
perfect.
I can do paperwork. He can do that. And then we're going to make this is a match made in heaven. Well, it worked, it's like we put out a product, and we went for gourmet healthy meal prep.
I was just about to say that.
Like a bit of a New Orleans flair to it,
It's very gourmet, bro. I was going to tell you that.
Yeah, the whole
I'm gonna have to get some.
Oh, dude, it's like it doesn't.
I got a discount code.
It does not. It doesn't look like meal prep food at all. It just looks like a restaurant. Like real talk.
Yeah, I think one of the best ways it was ever described.
And the names are clever too. The names for all the meals, fucking super. Both of y'all have like very similar, like how he does his packaging and stuff, and like all his shirts and like what it means. Y'all both have very like unique skill sets on that. Both good at marketing.
Yeah, man.
I need to look that up at the end of this because I keep seeing this coast over here. I'm like, what's that?
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah, bro. He's savage, clever breed.
Trying, man. Clever. Almost the same way, man. So I can understand like how you feel in those moments. Like when you say the fucking table breaks and it's just like what the fuck am I gonna do? Because I do like plates for tacos too, and I've had some shit happen to me like that, and I had to call, and everybody was cool, I guess, because they know you, but I can.
Ray does Taco Tuesday, bro. They fire, and dude, the way all his packaging, he's got his like little cheese in like a little container. He's got like a sauce in a container. It's like the perfect like amount of tacos, perfect amount of rice. It's fine, and it's not like regular rice. It's like black bean rice. It's like, you know what I'm saying. It's like those extra steps. It seems like y'all both took the same extra steps.
Yeah, and, man. Yeah, because I like the way people feel when they eat your food. Like. I'm not worried about money or anything, but it's just like, damn, how did it taste? Like, I aggravate the shit out you. You be like, man, leave me alone.
Dude, when I got his shirt in the mail, it was like in a gold packaging. I was like, dude, this is the shit. Like, that shit just made me smile. I had like a bunch of like little gifts in there. I was like, damn, bro, that's just thoughtful.
So yeah, man, it's dope for you to have a partner like that, man.
Yeah,
and, for him to have that, already, and that's dope.
I mean, so. And we'll kind of get into more of this as it goes, but it's like
BB just texted me.
It's we'll get into more of this later on, but like one of the things, so and again, I'll go back on this. It's like, you're going to hear me say, it's like, I'm nobody special. I didn't grow up with any like special talents, anything like that. But like one of the things that I found that I was decent at in life is like taking people and letting them understand that they have something going on. And so with my partner, like at the time, he was driving limos, and I'm like, dude, you're wasting your talent doing this. It's like there's more out there for you to do. It's like, you want to do something culinary. It's like we need to get you going in this.
Right.
It's like, so take a chance with me.
Right.
And I mean, for the first couple months, you might have like cursed at me a couple times. It's like, why am I doing this? Da, da, da. And it's like, but we got here.
Right. Yeah. You said you said he like whined a little bit here and there.
No, he didn't whine. Like it was validated. Like we had some sketchy nights, and
oh yeah, dude.
We didn't know if we were actually gonna make it whenever we first started out. But like after the first year rolled by and we got into the commissary space, so we knew it's like, okay, we're on to something.
Yeah.
It's like,
I remember when you were like looking for an employee to help you. I was like, yeah, dude, I gotta get somebody to help us cook. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
And that was at like, it was up there at the meals. I was like, damn, dude.
Yeah, man. And you had a job at the time, like
yeah. So I was coaching
full time,
like 6 days a week, probably somewhere around 20 to 30 hours during the week, and then we were doing 2 of the prep nights a week, and then eventually we just said, it's like, okay, we got to go down to 1 day, because he had a full-time job too. We were both still in the Army at the time, like, so every like 1 weekend a month we were having to, like, our prep time was on the weekend. And so, like, 1 weekend a month, we'd have to go to drill and then, like, get back from drill at, like, 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. And then we would have to go and prep. So
yeah, dude, you were grinding, bro.
Yeah.
I'd coach at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Monday, and I'd have finished delivery at, like, 4:15, go catch, like, a 15-minute nap in, like, one of the coaches' rooms, and then get ready to coach and have to be, like, on, like,
No
have
sleep.
to be
And then
have to
meet
be
me on
ready to
Monday
deal with people.
morning to go train with me on the West Bank. So we go, yeah, dude. And like, I'd like just woken up. I'm like all fresh and shit from Sunday. This dude's done like fucking, I don't even think he slept for like 20 minutes. Right?
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
bro.
luckily they had like a futon in the coach's room, so I'd go catch a couple minutes of sleep,
Yeah.
and then
work out like a bad motherfucker, and then go back and train somebody. Like, that's
That's
all
some
day.
motivational shit.
Oh, yeah,
make
bro.
You feel like, what the fuck am I doing? Like,
Dude, he was
to be
like,
fair, I was also young at the time. We started this and I was like 20. I was 26, 27, something like that. We're going on year 7 of operation now.
yeah, dude,
so
you were
27.
like the David Goggins before he came out, bro. Like, I was just like, this dude's like, I've never met somebody that's like that, just like crazy about everything. Like, you just, you don't stop. Like, when you told me you had a day off now, I was like, whoa, shit.
So it's this interesting thing, man, and like I'll get into a little bit of a backstory that I don't really share with a lot of people. So, growing up and like early in my college, or I guess late in my college time, but like I was around 21, and I had gotten into playing poker, and I did pretty well with it. Played for a couple years, and then I kind of went on this miserable spiral.
You need one?
And it kind of like consumed my life. Oh, no, I'm good. This one's still
All right,
like
cool.
about half. I went on this like miserable spiral, and I think being like, we were about 8 months from our Iraq deployment, but we didn't know about it yet.
Right.
And so I was in a bad way, pretty much lost everything I had, put myself in a couple grand of debt.
You were chasing that money.
Yeah, and dude, I almost killed myself one night after a night, like just a bad night. I'd lost like $2,500 in one night that I just didn't have, like maxed out credit cards with like cash advances and stuff like that. And
You were gambling every day?
yeah, and I remember having this very, very in-depth conversation with my sister one night and just saying, it's like, hey, it's like, I got some real dark thoughts going on in my head right now. It's like, I need to be talked off the ledge. And she had this conversation with me. It's like, hey, I think you're gonna need to seek help. And so like it's like, I don't have an ego, but I have a little bit of an ego, and I'm like, no, I don't need to seek help. And then like for some reason I was able to like cut it cold turkey the first time. So this gets a little deeper.
Okay. I'm listening.
And it was like maybe 2 weeks later, we got the announcement. It's like, hey guys, we're getting deployed.
Right.
And so that happens. we get the opportunity to start working at Jackson Barracks at the time. So I get this full-time job. I'm like, okay, cool. This is helping me make up some of my money. And I get a job like a month after that bartending. And so I'm making extra money on top of that. Like, but mine's still not in the right place, still kind of recovering from all that stuff.
Where were you living again?
Huh?
Where were you all living?
Before the deployment, I'd actually, I was living in an apartment by myself.
Oh, so you were living in New Orleans?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was living in where was it at the time? I think I was on like Jeff Highway in like one of the Mark Twain apartments.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So you were living here?
Yeah, I was
All right,
I was living out here, and
where you was bartending at?
I was bartending at a place that doesn't exist anymore. It was the Forum in Fat City.
Oh no shit, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Fat City's like changing like a
Yeah. And doing that, going in at the barracks. So like I would roll in, finish bartending at like maybe 2 o'clock in the morning some nights, and then I'd roll into the barracks at like 6 o'clock in the morning or earlier if we had PT or something like that. And so we got into that deployment, put some cash in my pocket. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back to school. And I go back to school, and then something hits. It's like I got all this cash on me. I'm like, oh, you know what? I could probably go back to gambling. And same like dark cycle comes again, man. I blow everything, and it's like, man, I've become a failure. Like,
Did you blow it faster the second time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually
it's
what
like I
happens.
was actually a professionly failure at that point, I guess you could say.
Right.
And
Like you were gambling every day, or this was like a one-time thing?
no, I was gambling probably like 3 or 4 times a week.
Right.
And like I got back, I was doing well. I thought my luck had changed around, and fast forward, and it wasn't. So like,
What were you seeking?
Huh?
Like, what were you seeking in gambling?
So I had some steady relationships at the time. That I can honestly say, like, I think there's just like in everybody, it's like there's one void that you never know quite how to fill. So I have like a bit of an addictive personality, and I didn't know what needed to go in that space. That's why, like, whenever you met me, like, I was so into fitness, is because it's like, okay, this is
correct.
This is helping. This makes me feel good. But like, we were spending like 3 hours at the gym a day, something like that. It's
Right.
like,
And I also was as addicted because I was trying to stay on a straight and narrow, you know.
Right.
Because I like to party.
yeah. And so like, I mean, I would spend like 18 to 24-hour blocks in the casino, just because, like, you know, I was just riding the lightning, and I was trying to
stay away from the casino.
feel something. And I don't know what it was. Like, I had like decent relationships at the time. I had good people in my life. Like, my friend group was strong. It was just there was just something missing.
Were you depressed?
So that's actually a funny story. Actually, so my mom suffers from bipolar disorder, and at the time, because I was going through this array of emotions, I went to a doctor, and I'm like, hey, I want to get tested for this, and we kind of went through some of the series of testing, and he's like, no, I don't think that you have bipolar disorder. I think you're just depressed. And I'm like, well, you know, Army sergeant in me is just like, nah, I can't be depressed. I'm gonna work my way through that shit.
Not with my pride.
Yeah.
Right.
And so sorta managed to like work my way through that cold turkey. But obviously I didn't realize at the time, I was like, I'm still filling this void with this thing.
Right. You were substituting for gambling.
Yeah. And so I get to this point, and I'm just like, fuck, man, I lost it all again. I did this to myself again. And I mean, honestly, like, I had this Glock 43 that I use for like a concealed carry, and I'm like, I could put that in my mouth and be done with it. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just wait one more day.
Right.
And we got a notice for the next day. I woke up and we got a notice for a voluntary deployment to Cuba. And I'm like, all right, let's make that the goal. We're gonna make it to this, and it's still like 6-7 months out until we had to go. It's like, let's make that the goal, and let's see if we can just get ourselves back to right until then. And whenever I got the notice, they gave me a letter. I was living in another apartment by myself at the time, and I gave them this letter of deployment. I actually, it basically severed my contract, and I moved in with my now business partner. And
like you basically gave it to him to where like you didn't want to go back.
Yeah, so it's like it canceled this contract I was in. I think I was in like month 2 of like a 7-month contract.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, okay, I need to be able to save as much money as possible. I can't be paying any bills. I'm in like a couple grand debt again. It's like, you know, same vicious story, same vicious cycle.
You did that because you wanted to get out?
I did it because I needed to be able to save money somewhere. And so I moved in with him. I cut gambling cold turkey, and well, there needed to be something to fill the void. So my business partner was a little bit of a partier, and so he wanted to go out. He wanted to do stuff, and I'm like, look, man, I can't afford to do anything.
Right.
So we came up with an arrangement. It's like he would handle like the drinks and stuff like that whenever we'd go out, and I would talk to the girls.
There you go.
And
there you go, wingman.
I was like the wrangler, I guess is what you could call it. And it worked. It was a great business.
The pit bull.
It was a great business arrangement, and you know, I made it into the second deployment. I get back from the second deployment. I'm like, okay, we got 2 options. We can fall back into the same trap, or we can do something about this. And it was the conversation I had with myself is like, well, I don't want to be poor. I'm just tired of being poor. I know what it feels like. Like this has been like this vicious cycle in my life. It's like I'm done being poor. It's like, okay, how do we not be poor? And then this opportunity, like I was coaching at the CrossFit gym at the time. My boss comes up to me and he's just like, hey, why don't you do this? I'm like, sure. I never even thought about starting a business. I didn't know I was like in my position in life. I didn't know I was allowed to be able to be like a business owner, but I'm like, let's give it a shot. Right. And that's kind of the start of that journey and like my journey into entrepreneurship. And like, it was all out of, I guess you could say it's all out of desperation, you know. Right, it's like I knew I wanted to be here. I knew I wanted to have a future. I knew I wanted to stop looking at life like I wasn't going to make it to 30. And I knew that nobody else could do it for me but me, with the assistance of other people. But it's like if I didn't make the decision to do something better for myself, it's like I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, you got it. You're gonna have help along the way, but ultimately you do it on your own. But you do have help.
Yeah,
right.
It took me a long time to understand that, because I was like, no, I'm gonna do it by myself.
Yeah,
I got this.
Still kind of feel that way.
Oh yeah, you do. But like that's why, you know, like everybody's here. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not like I just can't do this alone. You know, like I need you. Like, you know what I mean? Like I need everybody. So but I always had that same fight or flight. Like, no, I'm gonna handle all this. I'm you know, I take care of myself. But I mean, that got me where it got me.
But yeah, that's rightfully so, because I feel like you're supposed to keep that same mentality whether nobody's helping you. You know,
right?
You just got to keep going. And like he said, when the coach came to him, it's like that opportunity just presented itself. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
It's just like if you just got to keep going.
Yeah, dude.
One of my absolute favorite saying is, nobody's coming to save you. Be prepared to self-survive, self-resurrect, whatever you got to do. Like you're the only one that's going to get yourself out of the hole if you're stuck there. And there's layers to it, because like being able to take care of yourself, being able to lean on yourself also means being able to be strong enough to like ask for help from people. It's like,
correct.
It's like, yeah, nobody's coming to save you because they don't know the battles that you're going through. They don't know that you're going through these struggles. No. If you're not bringing them into the fold and you're telling them like, hey, like reaching out to my sister was like one of the most impactful things I could do to be here. Because if I'd have just went home that night, I don't know that I'd be here like having this conversation today, you know?
Correct.
Because you probably thought she wouldn't have gave a fuck, you know, if had you not.
She just wouldn't have known, because like I was so good at just like wearing it, like eating my emotions and like just taking whatever I had to do and dealing with it. But it wasn't healthy. It wasn't positive. It wasn't doing me any justice. Because who knows? I might not have even got that far down the rabbit hole had I talked about the issues that I was having before it was like too far gone.
Right.
Well, I think everything has to happen for a reason, because it made you who you are. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like without, who knows? You might have just went back to gambling even more, or like, you know, you might have went to figure some shit out on your own. Like, you know what I mean? Like you might have, like you hit rock bottom, but if you would have like figured it out before you hit this, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it, man. And like, it's the strangest thing. It's like I hit rock bottom twice, and it like back then I couldn't. like, you know, the cliche, it's like, oh man, you won't be able to look at yourself in the mirror. It's like, nah, like I would avoid mirrors because like I didn't want to see who that individual was on the other side. And today, I think that is the most awesome experience I've ever been through. And it sounds interesting. Cause
no, dude, I get it. I'm happy it happened to me.
Like with my time in the military, like I've had a chance to talk to guys who are just on the ledge. And I think being in that position or having been in that position and getting a chance to talk to them has had an impact, or at least I'd like to think so, because some of these guys I've had conversations with are still here today. And it's just because it's like I was able to level with them. It's like no bullshit. It's like no saying it's like, oh, it's gonna be all right. It's like, no, it's gonna suck, and you're gonna have to go through hell, and you're gonna have to fight to be here, and you're gonna have to want to be here, and you're gonna have to understand that even though it hurts, like there are people that think you matter. There are people that are gonna want you to be here no matter like what level of like fog that you have to fight through to get to that point. It's like you matter, but you only matter if you earn like that place, man. Like it's this crazy sensation. It's like you have to prove it to yourself, even in like your darkest moment, that you deserve to be here. And that's the hardest thing. It's like you don't have that mental capacity. Like you don't necessarily have that anchor that you need to be able to do that. But I think that, you know, even in that darkest moment, everybody has that potential to say, it's like, no, let me try one more day. Let me try one more time. Let me just give this one more effort. And if you can do that one thing, like it will literally save and change your life. You know, I can't. I'm actually tearing up a little bit. Yeah, I'm tearing up a little bit. Sorry.
Side mic.
Yeah, I can't stress that enough, man. It's like just take that one more day, that one more moment, that one more breath, whatever it fucking takes. Like make that phone call to that friend that you know is gonna listen for like a second. Like just do it, because your story isn't written until it's done, and like there's a chance that it's just not done when you think it is. You know, I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but like
no, I like it, dude. We're listening.
Yeah.
Hopefully your story can help somebody else with that same thing. You know, like that's why we're here. Like somebody's gonna hopefully listen to this that's going through some shit and is gonna be like, you know what, this dude David like figured it out. Like I can do this.
It's helping me right now.
Yeah,
you know,
dude. I mean, fuck you helping me, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that I actually like, cause you know I went through the program for gambling, and I felt like a fucking loser, and I felt like all my friends that were like really progressing in life and, you know, starting all these businesses and like just making a name for themselves as I was, I just felt like I lost it all. And I was like, well, David's not going to want to talk to me. BB's not going to want to talk to me. All these people that I like look up to, because like we're all chasing, we all have that same hungry mentality, that same like addictive personality. And so like, that's crazy. Like that you're telling me that, man. So, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
do y'all think
you,
it's
bro.
like, is it embarrassment that we won't reach out to others and seek help? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or just tell them what we're going through?
I think it's a little bit of everything. It's like pride and ego, and, you know, you're scared.
You know, it's one of those things that like,
you don't want to be a burden.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. And I'm not going to say it's harder, but I'm just going to say it's hard, you know, being a male in today's society and trying to be able to get to a point where you can express like your feelings. Like,
right.
It's like, you know, I don't think I'm a soft individual, but like I've gotten to a point now where I know that it's necessary to talk about how you feel, at least occasionally, and have one or two people that you can just like let that burden go on, that are not going to judge, and like you could be like in front of them and be raw and just let that go, because it's tough.
Right.
It's tough to be tough.
Yeah.
Bro, I love
You know?
therapy. I fucking love therapy. If I can go to therapy every day, I would. It changed my life. I didn't go to therapy till I was 30. And I wish I'd went when I was like 7.
That's a strong move, man.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I needed it. I didn't want to go either because I felt like everybody was going to judge me, and because that's the stigma. Oh, you're going to therapy? Something's wrong with this motherfucker. You know, oh, your kids are in therapy? Something's wrong with them. But, you know, a lot of shit's stems from childhood and like child trauma, and it follows you as an adult. So when people don't get therapy, like those little kids that need it more than you think, they grow up to be these, 30, 40, 20-year-old kids that start doing crazy shit because they're depressed. And that's what leads to addiction and, suicide and things like that. I mean, that's what I've learned.
Yeah, man, it's real. It's like, and again, man, I've only talked to like a handful of people about this in general, but like I really
thank you for sharing it with us, bro.
Yeah, it's because I think as I'm getting older, it's easier to have the discussion in general because people need to hear that it's okay. It's like, look, you can be tough and you can be vulnerable at the same time.
Right.
Like you can talk to people. And like you don't need to be able to talk to everybody about it because not everybody needs that story. And not everybody needs to be able to see that level of you.
Right.
Like you don't need to peel back the curtain for everyone.
Right.
But you should still have people that you are comfortable with having this conversation with because one, you need it. And two, you don't know how much that person might need to hear the same story.
Right.
Because we're all like, everybody's going through something.
And in the program, we call it the medicine.
And that's what I was finna say. It makes you feel better when you speak to other people because it lets you know you're not. Other people are going through the same shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
like there is no pill to take for compulsive gambling. No. You can't it's not like a synthetic like drug like heroin and things like that, like opioids. Like with gambling, it's in your brain. So whenever that like light goes off and you hit like a switch and you fucking won $1,000, it's like there's sensors in your brain that automatically hook you. And like it's the will. Like he had the will to keep going, so that's what happened.
So
and I kind of forget what I was about to say.
I don't think that like people have the conversation in the right way. And so what
most people don't even know how to have the conversation.
So the main thing, and this is what I found, and I mean I'm sure there's studies that say otherwise or whatnot. And I don't really care. The main thing that I found about dealing with addiction is that it's never going to go away. It's just going to manifest itself in different forms, different shapes, different, like you're going to just take it into different realms.
Right.
And so, like I said, I managed to put it into fitness. And
Correct.
then whenever you
just traded your addiction for another addiction, a healthy addiction.
Yeah. Whenever we started the business, like it became a work addiction. Like, I mean, you've heard me talk. Like,
oh, dude, I've watched you come from work straight to the gym.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
I will work every day.
Yep.
No questions asked. It's like I do work every day.
Correct.
And it's
even
like
on your off day.
And it's also become its own type of unhealthy, but it's something that I can manage now, and I don't have like there's no negative connotation with it. And so it's like if you can find that outlet to put it in, because I don't think people ever truly stop being addicts. They just find some other way for that to manifest. And it's like, find something that is going to be relatively positive and put that energy into
positive addiction.
Well, that's what that's what my wife. Yeah, the gym. I mean, anything. I mean, he was literally.
You know what I'm saying? And it also said like, when he said, I don't want to be fucking Uncle Sam's bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's positive addiction. So you
self-made. Well, I mean, usually the most successful people are addicts. Most addicts, once they get sober, that's what I meant to say, correction, they become very successful. Just like with this podcast, like sometimes my wife says, man, I feel like you're starting to like become like addicted because she's seen my patterns, she grew up, lived with me. And I was like, I am, but it's like, it's healthy, because I'm sticking to the gym. I'm sticking to my career. I'm cutting as much hair as I can. And if I want this podcast to one day be successful, like with my hair career or even with my gambling career, short-lived, 9 months, I have to give it all I got. I mean, when I was gambling, I was going to 12 hours a day, and I would work at the salon, and then I would have different places I would go. I would have it all calculated, all set up, how much money I was bringing. Yeah. So, I mean, that's like, I go to that realm. So like when I look up to David with how he is with like his business and how he runs, and I was like, man, I'm not that smart to do stuff like that, but I'm like like he's just as hard working as me. So I only got that part. And I feel like he's got more of the marketing strategy part. But I guess when you think about it, I did kind of like do that too, just with gambling. You know what I'm saying? So he traded his gambling for like his marketing strategies. And I mean, dude, he's so fucking smart with it.
Discipline, and it all leads it all leads up, like, you know.
Dude.
Up.
Yeah, I mean, and that's it, man. It's like, you know,
sorry, I rambled really hard.
No, that's dude. Look, I don't have a background in this. I like it.
In what?
In business, like the thing people don't tell you about.
Dropped out of school. He told y'all that.
The thing people don't twice. I dropped out of two different colleges.
Yes.
The thing people don't tell you about business is like it's kind of your rules to make. Like there's some parameters that you have to follow. There are some things that you absolutely have to do unless you just want to deal with the government, and nobody wants to do that.
Right. You don't want to be Wesley Snipes.
Outside of that, it's like just be as creative as you want to be. Like be okay with failing. Be okay with listening, because you're going to have to listen to whoever your audience is to see what they want, and then be okay with adapting from that. Like, don't be so bullheaded that it's like, okay, this is my idea. This is what I'm going to stick with. This is what's going to make me my $1 million, and then end up poor. Like if you're not catering to your audience in some type of way, you're going to lose. If you're not willing to be flexible, you're going to lose. Now, don't be so flexible that you just bend and break, and then like you're miserable in the thing that you're doing, because this is supposed to be, to some extent, your passion. This is supposed to be the thing that you want to be doing, because people talk about getting into business and it's like, okay, I'm going to leave my 9 to 5 and I'm going to go be an entrepreneur, and I'm going to go, I'm going to go work my own hours and I'm going to make $1 million. It's like, no, you're going to go from 9 to 5 working 40 hours a week to working anywhere from 80 to 100 hours a week, making probably half the money that you were making at first. And you're going to have to be okay with doing that. Yes. You're going to have to be okay with eating shit. You're going to have to be okay with being somebody or somebody's bitch for a little while. And that's okay, because you have to figure out the process that makes you work. You have to build a product that people are going to want. And eventually, whenever you work and you claw and you just fight, you're going to get to a position where you can start turning down customers. You're going to get to a position where it's like, you know what? I appreciate your opinion, but I'm going to go in this direction anyway, because this is what is actually working for me. This is time tested. I have the research that says that this works, and you're going to get there. But if you can't deal with some level of rejection, or you can't deal with the fact that like you're going to have to like fight some of your gut instincts, and that you're going to have to be okay with people still telling you no, even though this is this thing that you put your blood, sweat, and tears in, stick to the 9 to 5. It's like, because there is something very respectable about somebody that knows it's like, I don't have what it takes to go through the entrepreneur route too. It's like there are very successful people that work a 9 to 5, and like whenever you get into that whole entrepreneur like dream conversation, we neglect to have that conversation too. It's like those people are still out there, they're killing it, they're living very happy lives. Just do what makes you happy. If you can go and do that and you're happy with that, do that. If you need to go through the adversity and make your own thing because you have something to prove to yourself, because you have that addictive personality, go do that. But don't let anybody else like write your narrative. Right. Because you're never going to be happy if you're just doing it because, society told you should do it this one way, or, your friends are doing it this way and you're supposed to do it this way. No.
I love how like I'd be cutting your hair sometimes and you'd be like, yeah, we're, and the next like 1 to 10 months, we're going to do this. In a year or two, we're going to have this. By year 5, like you were like always like 5 years ahead.
Yeah. I
feel like that's how I kind of think.
I just kind of say, this is what I want. And what you have to realize too is like there's going to be a ton of things that you want whenever you're putting this together and you're writing your own script, right? And then you have to realize at some point that you don't want all of that. So it's about kind of like whittling away and saying, okay, this is actually what I'm going to put my time and energy into. The rest of this is just going to have to go, because you'll drive yourself crazy. It's like if you're not giving yourself these small measurable successes, you're going to feel like a failure, and that's going to make you a failure. Like even if you're winning, but you're not winning at the rate that you want to win, you're going to feel like a failure and you're going to give up. Like that's what breaks people, is that they're giving themselves too many different things to measure themselves against, instead of just saying, it's like, okay, I need to go 1 inch at a time, not 1 mile.
Right.
That's what I'm doing with this podcast, bro. I'm all in.
I like it.
That's what I tell Eric though too. The same thing. It's like you just gotta keep.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like just how we started. I mean, like it's we're still working out the details and the technical difficulties and But it's like it's a self-made podcast, and there is no like real rule book on this. Joe Rogan's always telling people it's easy, but hopefully one day he'll like give me some of the like rule book tricks or whatever, because it's not easy. But I'm falling in love with it, the process, and it's like I don't know, man. It's like watching you develop all your companies. It's like, okay, I'm gonna put all my time and effort into this because David's successful with his companies, and that's what it's gonna take. So that's what I'm trying to do, bro.
But yeah, like that's what I said. And it was like the feeling that, well, the reason I started feeling that same way you were talking about, like just driving like that. I had got laid off from I was working doing inspection with this company called Cayman, and man, I was just going through it with them, like I don't want to say racist, but it was just some favoritism in certain ways. But I just remember getting laid off, and I come one night and got high like for the first time because I couldn't smoke and nothing. Used to do hair tests. So, and I get paranoid as fuck. I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to die. I'm about to die. And I'm like, oh man, is this what this shit is set up for? Like, we go to work for these people. I couldn't like smoke marijuana, do what the fuck I wanted to. I had to be at this job at a certain time, and you could die like that at an instant. And I'm gonna just go here while, I'm at work, my kid's getting older, I'm not able to make it to certain things. He's sneaking out the window, he done got a girl pregnant, I'm still at work now, we got another baby here. Like, you know what I'm saying? That whole mentality, I just went through that in that one instant, and I was just like, fuck this. Like, this is not my life. Like, this is not my fucking life. So I just that feeling, man, like that, this is not my life, like 9 to 5.
Yeah, bro.
And especially for somebody who got to tell you what to do, like, fuck that. Like, I don't want to live that life. I don't feel like anybody should want to live that life, man.
No, dude, it's rough. It's rough. Y'all want to take like a little quick break, like a little smoke break and a piss break?
It's cool.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do.
Whatever, man. I'm riding.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had wrote down something. I was like asking, like, what made you get that mentality, like that? I knew you said the Uncle Sam. Like, what epiphany did you get?
Oh man, it's
like that sudden realization, like,
yeah, it was this. I think just one day I decided that I was valuable enough to be here, and that's what it was. And it's like, but I had a long way to go to prove that I had value to myself. And like, I mean, even up until maybe like 3 years ago, I was still working for somebody else while I was running my companies because I didn't feel like one source of income was enough.
Right.
And, maybe I just wasn't fully bought into the idea that this was going to be the thing that made us successful,
Right.
But it kind of came down to like COVID hitting and saying, it's like, okay, if I'm going to do anything and I want to do it right, it's going to come down to me building these teams and building these things the way that I want to do. Because I was, I was the head coach of a CrossFit gym leading into COVID. Had some, and it wasn't even anything major. It was just kind of like COVID hit, things were static for too long, and I was given the opportunity to go start another fitness business. Like, I pulled into this partnership, and I got to create my Scorch60 business. And it's like, okay, I can do fitness kind of the way that I want. And then I got in with my partner, Austin Martin, and he had his vision of what this needed to be. And I had my vision of kind of like what worked in the CrossFit realm, the functional fitness realm. Right. And we made this mesh idea that was kind of like this. I guess the best way that we can explain it now is kind of like high intensity bodybuilding, right? Is what we came up with. But it was great because we got to come up with something that nobody else was doing. We got to make the format, we got to do all the programming, we got to do everything. And that gave me kind of like a high because we were creating this thing and we didn't know if it would work. And we're almost at our 2-year mark for that now. And we've had some of the most like incredible transformations that I've seen from a fitness space, from something like where we don't really get into like nutrition. We don't really get into like, mental factors that might keep people from succeeding. We just kind of got in and we created a fitness class that works. And like, okay, whenever we started that was kind of like the catalyst for saying, it's like, okay, well, what else can we do? So like 6 months ago, I had been in the fitness space for almost a decade at the time. And so I'm like, okay, I want to get out of doing personal training. So I created an online, remote, like personal training and nutrition business. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to do everything from my computer. I'm going to keep it remote. I can deal with people like across the country. I can deal with whatever. And it's the strangest thing because like, even though I had been a coach and I had dealt with like hundreds of people at the time, like that's whenever it was like, okay, the fuse was lit and people know that I'm doing this now. And, I was like, okay, I'm going to cap off whenever I get 20 people to make sure that I can sustain this. And I had 20 people sign up in the first week and I'm like, oh shit. Okay. We need
he always like thinks about numbers like that. He's like, all right, I need this many people for this. Like he thinks ahead, man. Like I look up to him like that. Yeah. It's tight.
Yeah, because it was one of those things. It's like I'm gonna just see kind of what happens, and we're gonna
You're very business savvy.
Yeah, and just like those 20 people, he didn't want to get overwhelmed. Like, and then it's like, oh.
That's the other side of it. Like, I think business savvy involves like not overextending yourself, and
we have a habit of that.
Yeah, I'm still doing that a lot. Like to this day.
And before the meals, it was like customers, like clients, dude. So it's like if he's training that many, like what's the most you trained in one day?
Most people. I mean, mostly we did like classes. So I think like on the high end, I would have 7 classes in a day whenever I was doing like a full training schedule, and then I'd have
that was all CrossFit.
Yeah, and I'd have like 6 personal training clients, but they were in like small groups too, so it'd be like 2 to 3 people in like another like 2 or 3 hours of small group training. So it'd be like like a 10-hour work day of just training people, and there's this piece that people don't tell you about, like especially like if you're training a group fitness style class throughout the day, you're teaching the same thing all day long.
Right.
It is a test of your mental fortitude to be able to say the same thing for 7 hours a day and still be able to like be right in the head at the end of the day. I think I might be a little bit off.
That's kind of how it is. That's kind of how it is with cutting hair. Like by the time you get to like your 10th or 12th customer, you're like, well, how's your week going? I'm like, fuck, I don't want to tell you. Fuck.
Right.
I gotta get to the next head.
But you know what? You got to just be like this. It was good. How was yours?
That's it, man. Like for coaching, so it's strange because my personality is I'm a closer, not an opener. So I'm terrible with like starting a conversation with anybody. But like once you get me going or you ask me a question or something like that, I'm good to go. So like I'd be showing up at 5 o'clock in the morning and it'd be people not wanting to be there and not talking, and I'm just like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna get fired.
You like just wouldn't talk to anybody.
Yeah, and like for a little while, the only way I could get through that was kind of coming up with like a scheme. It's like, okay, I'm gonna ask these 3 questions, and if this doesn't get it, then we're just working out today, and that was gonna be it. But it would always work. It always kind of get people.
Dude, people love you, bro. Jason thinks you're funny as fuck.
I still don't know why. I can't believe that.
But I think that's
even Bobo said that.
That's
Bobo
like the
said
fear though, like because you fear like shit is gonna go wrong, but then all of a sudden you just gotta do it. Like you just do it. Like,
oh yeah, man. I am like naturally a shy person, which is strange. Whenever people meet me, it's like you're shy. It's like because we all like. And that's another thing people don't talk about. It's like we all have this fear of like rejection. It's like deep ingrained in our body, right. And it's. It's gotten to a point now where it's like, okay, if they reject me, then we're just going to go to another one. And we're just going to bombard them with personality until they either like me or they leave. And then I don't have to deal with them. And it's fine. But
you just ain't giving up, aren't you?
No, it's
like I can't stay quiet. It's
a relentless pursuit. Like especially if it's your business and you're dealing with fitness, and like these people are gonna be there regardless. Like they're paying to be there. They're not just paying to get healthy. They're paying to have somebody to talk to, and they're paying to have somebody who is going to relate with them on some level and make them feel good for something more than just physical. Like they want to leave with like all of the endorphins, and that is the communication piece too. And that's hard for somebody who is, for all intents and purposes, an introvert.
I was literally going to say that, introvert.
Yeah. And so it's like I have extroverted tendencies, but like I am an introvert. Like I like to keep to myself. I told you last time we had a cut. It's like I talk to you a very different way than I talk to like the masses. And it's like
I know. I was like, I didn't know David was funny. I was like, fuck. Well, like, cause he's funny in the chair, but I was like, Jason was like making it seem like you was a comedian. I was like, bro, what? I said he is pretty witty. I was like, yeah,
man. Funny's it's crazy though. Funny is the mask.
Me and you were always like talking like serious, like business, and like we're trying to. I feel like I learn shit from you, and hopefully you learn shit from me. And I feel like it's those conversations. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that's exactly what it is.
Like
and
we're picking each other's brain. Like, hey, bro, how you doing this? Oh, dude, I started doing it this way with my taxes, or like we were always like picking each other. Like that's what I felt, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, funny is the mask, man. Funny is the thing that like gets me through day to day, and it's the piece that like. It's the piece that people want whenever they're paying for a service. Like, and it's not me being fake. It's just me having to be like on. Like whenever I walk in and it's 5 o'clock in the morning or it's 4:45 in the morning, and I know there are people coming on, like I have to flip a switch in the morning. And it's like, okay, we have to be up. And then as soon as stuff's done, I'm like, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm done. It's like I don't want to talk to anybody. Like I'm drained. Like whenever I get home at the end of the day, especially like right now, I'm back to training, or I'm teaching classes for like 7 hours a day.
Right.
And
I
like,
was just gonna say tonight. Like right now, I was like, fuck. Oh my bad, sleep.
yeah. By the time I'm done at the end of the day, like the social battery is completely drained. Like we've already thrown in another 2 batteries, and it's just like, but you know, you make it work. Especially like now, I own a gym. Right. I own a fitness business. I own this online business, and like I have to communicate with people all day long. Like my phone.
That's the business.
Yeah, my phone is glued to me. You know.
Be careful what you wish for, people.
Yeah, no shit.
But no, so like if you were like truly introverted, you would be more drained like all the time.
Oh God, yeah.
Like I'm learning that one of our friends is an introvert, and it's like she definitely has that ability to like bail on you several times, because I think it's just like she's not charged up. Mm-hmm. You know, like she'll give you like a whole day, and like you'll be like, wow, this is cool, and then next time you won't see her for a while, and I'm like, so I guess. But I'm like that too. But I guess I have that half and half like you. Mm-hmm. I feel like we got like the same personality.
Yeah, I think they call it an introverted extrovert or extroverted.
I'm actually trying to get a psych evaluation soon, because I just want to make sure I'm not bipolar. Mm-hmm. You know, and my therapist said I'm not, but
that's fine, man. Your brain just works too fast.
Well, I
wouldn't think you bipolar.
Well, I think it comes from like the depression, like he was saying. So you can, you know, you're not cured of depression. It like comes and goes. Yeah. You know, and when you're like super depressed, where you're like suicidal, that's when you're like deep.
But like, I think, are you the type like that's depressed but nobody knows?
Oh yeah, that's what happened to me.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I ended up, you know.
But it's like what nobody he was even saying, like he has to be on. It's like that. Like, cause I say this, I could be thinking buku shit in my head, like just depressed. But when I see you, you see a smile. It's, hey man, how you doing? It's like, you know, even like,
oh yeah, you put on a show. Oh yeah, you wouldn't know it. I mean, nobody knew what I was doing until like I left, and I mean that was going on for like 2 years, dude.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. It's like that goes back to the whole like being able to have that conversation with like anybody. Like shit, if you got to go speak into the ether or the internet just to find some release, like that's important, man.
Oh yeah, man.
And it's like that will like reset you for the day, the week, the month, whatever you need sometimes, and that'll be the thing that gets you going, you know.
Talking about like letting it out, talking to people.
Yeah,
that's what I love about going to meetings, man. Like it really is like taking your medicine. That's what they call it in the program, because like there are no medicines for like how you feel usually. Yeah. So it's all in your head. You have to learn your character defects. You have to learn all your flaws, like your triggers. And when you start like learning those things, you can kind of start, you know, okay, I know I got a problem with like talking to people, so I got to start talking to people. Right. Like you start learning those flaws.
Are you in a relationship?
Huh?
Not to cut you off, Eric. You're in a relationship?
Yeah.
For how long?
It's going on 7 years in April.
Yeah, his girlfriend Kelsey. She's the one that does all the digital.
Yeah. Yeah, but like it's even, you know, so you live with somebody and you can share pretty much anything, and that's like, you know, that's your best friend, and there's a lot involved in it. But sometimes you feel like, you're a broken record, or you're saying the same thing over and over again, or you're having the same conversation and it doesn't have the same impact or something like that.
Right.
So it becomes, I don't want to say it's not enough, but like you still need that outlet somewhere too, because it's a real hard thing to explain. It's like it's nice to have the one person, but it's also nice to be able to just say, it's like, okay, there's this pool of people that kind of relate with you, and so you get,
dude, I feel
get more comfortable talking to more people. It's like, I think, sitting down tonight, I had no clue what I'd be talking about. Like, I was just gonna let it come out.
I didn't either.
And as soon as I sat down, I'm like, I wanna talk about that, because that's important, and I don't talk to enough people about it. And now it's like, now I've gotten to a point in my life where like I can manage like the depression, and I can manage like the anxieties and stuff like that. But I think it's important for people to kind of get a peek behind the mask and say, it's like, okay, this dude's winning in life, but fuck, he's still a little messed up too.
Yeah, like, dude. Yeah, 100%.
But if you can go through all that and you can still be successful, it's like, okay, well, there's a chance for me to be able to do the same thing. And it's like, that's kind of what I would have needed growing up. It's like, we come from an age where social media wasn't as relevant of a thing. And you don't get to see, like, even if it's the media portrayal of it, or you don't get to see, like, the Jordan Petersons telling you, it's like, there's a way of being tough without being like, without being too tough.
Too tough.
Like, you can, like, I needed something like that. So I wanted a chance to be able to say, it's like, okay, it's like, if there is, that one person that does look up to me or look at me in this certain light, is like, hey, look, I'm going through the same shit as you.
Right.
And it's like, and this is a daily battle. This isn't like fleeting moments or anything like that. This is something that is going to be with me for the rest of my life, and this is how I manage it.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. Excuse me. We talked about this before in the chair, but yeah, man, you saying the other part tonight, I thought I was alone, bro. I ain't gonna lie, because most people are addicted to opioids, heroin, but like, I've never met like another compulsive gambler that, besides like me being in the program, like an actual friend. So,
right,
I feel you, bro.
Yeah, it's real, man.
It's
it's
a real thing, bro.
People are ashamed to talk about addiction.
Because it's like that. You're addicted to working out. I'm addicted to working out. You're addicted to work. I'm addicted to work. But gambling like destroyed us.
Right. And
like I said, it took my whole career in 9 months.
But like, and if you look at it too, it's like, so like the gambling is viewed as something negative. It's like, okay, so what if you are a bodybuilder by profession, right? And bodybuilding is your work. And so now you're addicted to fitness and you're addicted to work, but it's pulling you away from your family and it's pulling you away from your friends, and you're so focused on this that you're not having a social life. Is it then healthy? Is it then positive?
And it's killing you internally.
And it's killing you internally, depending on like how far you're taking it.
Well, I think there's many successful gamblers. It's just that you couldn't gamble, and like I couldn't gamble. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's a lot of like very successful, people that like, I've seen people go in the casino, win 10 grand and leave, and then they do it again the next day. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I was trying to do the same thing, because I was like, all right, if I win $1,000 a day, 7 days a week, times like my haircut and salary, I'm gonna be a beast. I'm gonna open up a salon. So I couldn't do it, because it's like, you'd win the money and it just wasn't enough.
So you're saying like you were gambling to do something positive?
Yeah, because I felt like I always needed money. I felt like I never made enough money, and but then the problem was I was gambling so much that I was like just losing it, and with the cocaine, so they both go hand in hand.
So is that like it's like that, like you thinking about like, okay, Eric's starting this podcast. How I want to say it, like, it's right there, but it's right there. But like, I mean, gambling, like, okay, I'm gonna take the gambling money and do this. Is that like saying, oh, this is the easy way out, but knowing the hard way out? Like the podcast is like, you're gonna have to grind and get to that level, but okay, I can gamble, and this is gonna get me the quick fast, so I can hurry up and jumpstart.
Well, I was
like,
also
what I want to do.
Well, I was also like selling drugs too, and because I never felt like I made enough money, so I had a full-time career with my salon, and I was running that for almost years. Well, no, I'm sorry, 7 years. And then when I got addicted to the other stuff, I just started selling it because I was like, all right, I'm doing, cocaine every day. I said it's an expensive habit. So I started selling it. That way I could do it for free.
Support your habit. And
support my habit, make some money. And then when the depression got worse, that's when I ended up getting addicted to gambling. And, I was like, dude, it literally took my whole life in 9 months. I did the cocaine for almost 2 years, but the gambling took it in 9 months.
But never being your focus, like it was always to push to
originally
do better.
I was like, me and my ex-fiance split up, so I was on my own. So I was like, okay, I was paying for a wedding. I had just bought this ring cash. I saved up like a year to get it. Like I had all my ducks in a row. Like I always did everything 100%. Like when I met David, I finally was like, dude, I fucking met somebody that's like me. Because it's hard to find people like us, dude. Yeah. It's hard to find somebody that's on that level. I mean, when I met David, I was still bodybuilding. I was like getting out of that, bodybuilding 7 days a week. Running a salon. Trying to go out party because I'm a party animal. So like I was just like living all those different hats, and I did it 7 days a week, and once the breakup happened, I was just trying to get my life together, man, and I was like, well, shit, I don't have anybody holding me back. I'm just going to try to make money all the time and work out all the time, but, I got addicted to the drugs.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was depressed, so, yeah.
But for that reason, though,
Well, I felt like like David was saying earlier, like I felt like a failure, bro. Like I just felt like I should have been at a certain part of my life because, like him, I see where I'm supposed to go. Like I'm always thinking ahead, and I just felt like I didn't land there. I just felt like at 30 years old, like fuck, dude, I was supposed to be married. I was supposed to have kids. I was supposed to have a successful salon, and I just felt like everything just like went away, and I was like, kind of like, I don't want to do the right thing anymore. I'm sick of trying to be the good person. You know what I mean? Like I just felt like fuck being a good guy.
I've been there too.
And it's I said fuck it. Honestly, I was trying to live like Drake. Like when that song came out, like live like every day's my birthday, and that shit does not work, people.
Fuck no.
It might work for Drake, dude, but
fuck no. But I feel like that. But like we was talking about earlier, I forgot exactly what it was about. But I feel like you go through those things to find your purpose. For you to, want to pursue the other shit. Like it took for you to, go through that mind state, suicidal, to be like, whoa, and then boom, this happens, and then like if y'all get what I'm saying.
Definitely.
It's like you have to go through those things. I had to go through that, and it puts me there.
Well, like David was saying,
because some people don't come, like you said, had it, not to cut you off, but had he not talked to his sister, he don't know what would have happened had he go home. You know what I'm saying? So
correct. Well, when he said that, it like I almost teared up a little bit because like 2 or 3 days before I went to rehab, I had just bought a gun. Never owned a gun before, and I was like trying to be like a John Wick. I bought this fucking $500 Benchmade knife, and I had like a little pistol on me. Because I was like, I just I was trying to be more into fitness, but I wasn't into fitness because I was always gambling. I got to the point where I wasn't even working out anymore, dude. I was just gambling and working. I would sleep. I'd stay up for 3 days and like pass out in my car somewhere and then sleep for like 8 hours and do it again for 3 days. Shit, where was I going with this?
But you were just talking about, but like I was thinking about something else. But like you say, you have a partner. It's like it's hard to stop when you have somebody who counts on you, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like for you to be there every day.
Yeah, so I didn't have that no more.
Both of y'all have that fucking like, oh shit, he needs me. Oh, I need him. Mm-hmm. I need him. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it gives you that drive every day.
Well, I definitely, like David said, he was living alone. Like I definitely like don't like to be left alone, and probably like from shit in the past. But the thing is, it's like I wasn't comfortable being alone. Now I am, and when I was alone, I was like, dude, I gotta get out the house. So I'd go out, I'd go fucking, try to chase girls, whatever, I was single, whatever, I was, and
you was just like looking for life.
Dude, I would go gamble. I would do all kind of crazy shit, bro. I just didn't want to go home.
Right. I
was living in this badass condo in the Maroney with one of my homies, and I would never be there. Just living in the city, like finally, like it was just like, oh, cool, I'm just doing whatever I want to do. making money, and I was like, nope.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Look, man, I get it. And it's like, so, you know, I spend my days now just surrounded by people. It's like this is
Right.
this is pretty much all of my businesses right now. And
But I'm cool with being alone now.
yeah, and
you know?
that's what
Yeah.
I'm getting to. It's like it was a point where like before it was dangerous for me to be alone because I was left with my thoughts. I was left with my demons, if you want to call them that, right? And now it's like I find like this solitude in being alone. It's like I
think you learn from being alone.
Yeah, I can get my work done. I can get like new projects come up, new ideas come up. It's like I'm good in that place because now my brain works different because, you know, we made it through to the other side to be able to see. It's like, okay, this isn't so bad.
Does David still work for a restaurant or a job, or is it full-time job?
No, he's just full-time.
But he can't relax now, you know.
I know.
Like,
well, now
you can't relax.
Yeah.
He can't relax.
No,
So
dude.
it's like you gotta.
Once you become
you
a
don't
business,
have no choice.
that's what I tell people. I said, you know, everybody wants to go into business till they start running a business and they realize, oh fuck, I don't have a life. This is my life. Yeah.
You're right.
But I mean, you gotta love it. So I hope you love it. If you love it, then it doesn't feel like work. I don't feel like. I mean, I'm working right now, technically from home.
I know you love it.
This is fucking big. I love one other thing, but like this, and it's cutting hair and working out. That's it.
And conversation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And friends and going out and hanging out with people. That's it. Yeah. So hopefully we could turn it. Hopefully, like watching David build up Chomp NOLA, Scorch, and now
Vanguard Fitness.
Okay. It's I mean, it's fucking huge. It's beautiful. I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen 1,000 pictures, and I am gonna go see it because David's coached me before, and it just makes me want to push harder for to make this podcast great. Like hopefully next time I have David on, it's in like a real studio. We got like multiple camera angles. We can get the damn microphones working properly.
Man, we could do an iPhone in a parking lot and I'd be happy.
Tell
Definitely.
dude. Yeah, dude. I mean, tell us a little bit about the Vanguard because I know that's like your baby. And again, Savage Life. This dude, you find ways to like you said earlier. You're good at making people like understand what they're good at, right? Or helping. Yeah, is that how you said it?
So Vanguard is this labor of love that started years ago, and so I knew for the longest time. Like so let me backtrack a little bit. So we have the Scorch60 class, which is a class in the Zoo Health Club out in Kenner.
Yes.
Right, and that is it's its own entity inside of a bubble inside of another space.
Right. I watched you build it from ground up inside the gym.
Yeah, and it's like it's great. It's changed lives. We have about 60 to 70 members right now, and it's awesome. It's like a group fitness class inside of a traditional gym. It's awesome, but the space isn't mine, and
right.
So one of my business partners, Tommy Dominic, has been a coach in like the CrossFit space forever, and he has been one of my coaches for the longest time. He is one of the people that I trust with pretty much anything whenever it comes to like movement dynamics, whenever it comes to like personal development and clients and members. You
trust him with your life, basically.
He's the guy that I go to for anything whenever it comes to fitness, right? And so I approached him with this idea. I was given the opportunity to buy into this fitness space and acquire this gym. And I said that I would do it on the contingency that Tommy came in as a partner, because he was already the head coach of another gym in New Orleans. And it's like, okay, you've been doing this for so long. I want you to come and be able to create your own image in the space. It's like, I want you to come in. I want you to be the head coach. I want you to be the programmer. I want you to build out this entire thing, right? And it took him a couple weeks, and he finally gave me the yes. And I'm like, okay, your yes is my yes. We're going in on this project. And then we start, and we're getting into it, and like all the ideas are evolving. And I sit down with my sister for coffee one day at PJ's on Jefferson Highway. And I'm just kind of like going through the rabbit hole of ideas. I was like, okay, this is what this fitness space is going to look like. Cause she was a personal trainer for, a a long time. I don't want to say the amount of years because she might get mad at me if I get it wrong.
Right.
But like at least like 2 decades of training, right? Still gonna get mad at me. But like, and so I'm going through this. She had just given up her fitness space as like at the onset of COVID, just because she was ready to move on, kind of burnt out from it, as would be expected, like that long into the field.
Right.
And we're talking, and like I could see this like fire just like in the back of her eyes, just kind of like growing and growing and growing. And without it even being that discussion, like that type of discussion, she's like, okay, I want in. And I'm like, shit, you want in? I'm like, okay, cool. Let's go and let's figure that out. And so, wrangle her into the business. She is a big deal in the area that we have the business set up in right now. We're in the Elmwood area. And
that's awesome.
She's got background there. I've got background there, and my buddy Tommy's got background there. And so it's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make this super aesthetically pleasing gym with top-notch coaches, and we are going to constantly build on the variety of programming that we have without like overstepping the program. So it's like, okay, what do we need to do to build the space out? So I get to play interior designer for the first time in my life ever, and we build out the space. It's like, okay, it needs to be like not state of the art, but like we just want this place that's going to look like a place that you want to show up to every day. And we're like developing the name, and Vanguard comes up, and Vanguard is like a new way of thinking for a shorthand version of it. It's like, okay, this is what we want. We want to get into, so like growing up in the CrossFit space with fitness, it's like, okay, we got inundated with this concept of building community for fitness spaces. It's like, so linking up with other gyms, making sure that other businesses are involved, making sure that people are having the ability to like grow up with you, and they're able to build their brands, and they're able to like feed off of your success. And that is kind of the general purpose of this gym. So like we're offering, I've been able to bring in a couple of my friends as coaches so that they can kind of build a brand within our brand. We're working on linking up with local gyms to be able to do like cross advertisement with them. And even though people would normally say it's like, okay, that is going to be like, oh, you're going to work with a competitor in the space. It's like, I don't think people understand that. And I feel like a lot of people have lost their way whenever it comes to operating a gym, but we're supposed to be here to help people. And we're supposed to be here to make sure that somebody, even if it's just one person a day, has a positive experience that is going to put them on the right track to better their lives. Now, even if it's just in this one aspect, this one point of their life, if it's fitness and it gives them another day of living, it's like, if we can do that and give somebody the best hour of their day, then we're succeeding. Because my buddy Tommy is a coach, and he is a coach through and through, and he is like one of the best human beings that I've ever met. My sister doesn't need the money that we have coming from this, because she has done extremely well for herself, and her family has done extremely well for themselves. And they don't need this. I don't need this because I run other businesses. So we actually we have this opportunity to go in and say, let's make this thing that is actually people focused, and stop trying to bullshit people and say, oh, we're in this for your best interest, but I need you to pay this extra charge of da-da-da-da-da. Right. Right. And it's like we're a little over a month in operation right now, and it's been outstanding. Like the feedback that we're getting, like on the facility, on the coaching, on just the ambiance of the place has been, it's been kind of surreal. Like we did what we set out to do, and we're just getting started. And it's this really cool feeling to just be able to say, it's like, okay, we know we don't have to sell out just to, make ends meet on this, because we're doing this because we actually truly love it. It's like the food prep business is something that I did because it made sense. The fitness business is something that I'm doing because this is where I'm meant to be in life. Long time ago, not that long ago actually, like a couple months ago.
A long time ago.
4 days ago.
A couple high noons ago.
Right.
I had a conversation with my sister, and I'm like, look, I just don't know that I have any special talent. It's like, I don't think I'm anybody special. I don't think that, I was born with any of these innate gifts. All I know is that I have the ability to take people and show them that they have something, that they can be something more than they thought. And she's like, oh, so you mean that the skill that you were born with in life is being a coach? I'm like, fuck, that has a name? Oh shit. And it's like, and you don't think about it that way. It's like, you just, this is something that you have just done for so long now that it's just kind of a part of me. But to think of it as this skill that's been developed, and that is how each of my businesses has grown, is like taking the people around me and helping them, not being the sole reason, but helping them become like the person that they're meant to be, and giving them the tools to be able to do these things it's there's no other feeling than, actually helping your friends win, and that's the goal. Like, that is the goal in life now and moving forward, is just to be able to sit down and help my friend grow his business and meet new people and see how I can be a part of whatever it takes to help catapult them forward. And again, it's like, I don't know how else to stress this. It's like, I am nobody of importance, but I think that I have the ability to do something for anybody that I cross paths with, and it's like, and that is,
I mean, you did it for Jason.
Huh?
You did it for Jason. I mean, dude, like, you give people that like pep in their step.
Look, man, Jason did it for himself. Jason is out, and he just needed somebody to believe in him the way that he needed to believe in himself. And that's how I feel about every single client. It's like when I sit down with clients, man, I tell them, it's like, I really hope you don't need me in a year.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I hope you just want to be here if you're staying with me, but like, I hope you don't need me in a year, man. It's like, I don't care to be making the money. Like, I set prices, and like, I'm not like an inexpensive trainer or something like that, but I set prices so that people have a tether. It's like, okay, I can make this commitment because I know that this cost me this much.
Right. And
eventually that is no longer a factor. It's like, okay, I have learned all of this. I have gained this knowledge, and I have the belief that I can go and do this myself. That's my goal. That should be the goal of every single trainer that like you sit down with. If your trainer is like, all right, well, we got this like 3-year plan for it's like, they're milking you for money. Get the fuck out and go find somebody else.
Right.
You get to know people while doing this, huh?
Yeah. It's I mean,
dude.
And
like on all kind of different levels, like
and
helping people know themselves too. It's like you find people come out of their shells. You find people that see sides of themselves that they have never seen before.
But that's that authenticity of you, like, just after you get to know them, it's like, damn, like, I really want to help this person, like,
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Oh,
Yeah,
man.
And
There's no other feeling like
it's the coolest feeling in the
Yes.
world, because like you see people evolve and adapt and become not new people, but you see them become the person that they've been wanting to be the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also like, so there's this other side of coaching that you don't hear a lot, and it's about getting people to tether their expectations a little bit too. And so like you'll hear it as like, I'm not the person that's going to go up and gas you up and say, it's like, hey, you're going to be playing for the NFL next year.
Right.
But I am going to say, it's like, hey, look, we're going to work as hard as any one of those players, and we're just going to see like where your potential is going to take you. And then whatever comes of that is what we're going to be. But at the end of the day, it's like, you are going to be that version of yourself that you wanted to see no matter what, even though the vision might change.
Right.
It's like, and that's what it's all about, man. It's like, making money is cool. Making people better is cooler. That shit, that shit is fun. Like I am the most engaged whenever I am dealing with a client that is just like, all right, man, I know yesterday I was kind of complaining. Today I'm in. Today we're setting a new goal. Today, like, I am chasing that next version of myself. It's like, fucking bet. Let's go.
That's your that's like your new addiction. Like that's what you're addicted to.
That is 100% my addiction, is helping people see sides of themselves that they never knew was possible.
Yeah, like you get the high from that.
That's the best high.
You better.
It's like the endorphins. It's like while they're fucking like busting their ass and their endorphins are pumping, it's like your endorphins are pumping.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
yeah, dude.
So it's a sick, twisted thing. It's like I have to explain it to clients all the time. They're like, they ask me, it's like, okay, I'm dying over here. Why are you smiling? And I play it off and I'm like, oh, I just enjoy watching y'all in pain, da da da. It's like I am my most sincere version of happy whenever I see people giving it their absolute all.
Right.
Like complaints, no complaints, whatever version of it is. If I see you going out and you are just hustling your face off and just giving every last energy, like bit of energy that you have, I'm in. Like you have me sold on you, and I am gonna be there for you until like you're wanting to give up on yourself, and I ain't letting that happen.
They earned your.
You
respect.
show me that one time, and I am in. Like I'm on your team until like you're fucking dead.
Right? They earned your respect.
That's it.
That's all.
That's it.
It's tight, dude.
Because I don't take it easy on anybody, man.
No,
And
dude, I love it. Hey, dude, he ain't playing, bro. He ain't playing. And then, like sometimes when he would be like, "I want you to show me how you work out," and I'm just like, "Oh shit, this dude wants me to like train him." I was like, "Fuck." Then I'd be like, "Show me some of that shit you make your clients do." Those fucking walking lunges, bro.
But I feel like that's what we need. Like,
Oh, dude, I needed it. I needed it.
Like not only
if I
for
was
the
more
gym,
into CrossFit,
but for
yeah,
other shit too. It's like, yo, get the fuck up. Yo, you need to.
Well, yeah.
One more. Do this again, Eric. Do this again.
Like
you know
I met David like I had did CrossFit for 9 months at like another gym, and so right when I met David was when I was kind of giving it up because I had this impingement, this injury, so I just stuck with bodybuilding because I was doing both, dude. I was CrossFit at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., bodybuilding at night, and so when I met David, I was like in my really hardcore bodybuilding, and I told him, I was like, oh yeah, dude, I could snatch this and do all that shit. I mean, I do love CrossFit. It's just I don't know, my body type just wasn't, because I want the aesthetic.
Right.
Now I'm just trying to figure out how to like stay aesthetic while doing what he does. I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah, man, but that's dope. Like I said, you need somebody behind you. Like even with the gym, it's like, oh shit,
yeah, bro.
Like you don't even like how you say you be smiling, but it's like you did more than what the fuck you did yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like you give me 10 more push-ups than yesterday,
Yeah, dude.
Right.
So D, about ready to wrap this up?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
How you feeling?
I'll.
How y'all feeling?
I could talk for hours. I could talk
shit.
for a couple more seconds. Whatever.
we were talking about that earlier.
I know I started this off by saying I'm not good at talking about myself, but man, y'all got me rolling a little
I tell
bit.
Eric all the time.
He's like, I really don't say much, but 3 hours later. But you know what? I hope I said a little bit.
Fucking right. We be texting and he be like, man, I gotta go to sleep, and then another text message come through.
Well, me and Ray Sean be like writing poetry to each other, like paragraphs.
Yeah.
And but that's because like he's inspiring me and motivating me, and hopefully
And vice versa,
yeah,
man.
dude, and like because he's like giving me those pep talks that you were talking about with like your coach. And I was like, I feel like we've come together like ever since I started this, and like I reached out to him first, and right when he reached back out to me, it was just like, man, it's the same old Ray Sean. He's like never changed since we were like 7, and it's like those are the people like your gym, like you're trying to surround yourself with the like-minded people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's
Yeah, man, and even like I was just thinking, like just you don't even have to like say what you're doing, but just what you're doing is just enough for people, just to be like, God damn, like you know what I'm saying? This motherfucker believes in me, so I'm gonna give him 10 more.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, like you're like. I don't know if people notice, but like David wasn't always like fucking jacked. I mean, right, D?
Yeah,
He covered up right now.
Coming out of high school, I was like 132 pounds going into college. Went to basic training. I was like 145.
Dude.
Thinking I was like just hot shit at 145, and then
I wrestled at 145 in 12th grade.
Yeah, I put on.
No, that was 11th grade. My bad.
Put on a bunch of weight, man. Put on a bunch of weight. Like whenever I was deployed to Iraq, I got into like the low 200s, like 220. I'm 5'8".
Yeah, I was about to say, dude, we're the same height. You're fucking jacked right now. What you weigh right now?
Like 215.
15?
Yeah.
Who? Yeah, this is like the most.
But like thick, like 3 C's thick.
Like
right
we
now.
talking like shredded thick or
no?
A little bit of body fat.
Like chunky peanut butter thick. Like
yeah, but you cut down in like 3 weeks.
I'm
seen you
getting
go
old,
on
man.
diets.
I'm getting old.
How old are you now?
I turned 35 in July.
Oh, Rayshawn, dude, he'll go on like his cuts, and like his cuts are like 3,000 calories. I don't know what he eats on like a regular day, but like bro, 3,000 calories. Me and Brandon eat that. You know what I'm saying? Like together. So like that's his cut, and yeah, dude, he's just very, very.
Are you genetically fit? Like
no, my family's heavy, man. My sister's super fit, but it's training fit. Sure. Like nothing was given to us. Like we're not. My sister's like 5'2", 5'1", something like that, and she's an athlete, but like she's built ripped. Athlete. Like she created herself, and everything I've done for myself is like I am not athletically inclined. I didn't do anything in high school except for like skateboard. In college, I did like some intramural stuff, but like I've never been like an athlete. Like I didn't play for teams. I didn't do any of that. I just kind of. Right.
And then you became like one of the baddest athlete coaches that I've ever met.
I mean, I'm an all right person.
I mean, like when he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna try to snatch 225." I said, "Bro, what? Like I could squat that. I can't even pull it off the floor." You know what I mean? But like he's different level.
You know, man.
Like what inspired you to be fit? Like both of y'all.
My sister, honestly, is what inspired me to be fit. Like there was a time back when I was still Elmwood Fitness Center. Like I would come and visit from Homa, and she would take me over there, and we'd go work out and it'd be fine. And then she would take me up to the track upstairs, and we'd run a couple laps. And then next thing I know, I'm at like on the side of the track, like lightheaded and almost wheezing, and she'd have to go get me like an orange juice to get my blood sugar back. So funny story too is I thought at that age, this was like maybe like 16, 17, I thought that orange juice was like the elixir of life. This is before I knew anything about like blood sugar levels or anything like that. Because for some reason, after we would go running, my blood sugar would drop, and orange juice was the only thing that would bring me back. And I'm like, man, this is the stuff. Like I'm gonna make a company around orange juice in the future. And yeah, so the magic formula was destroyed for me as I grew up. But
right.
So she was just kind of like consistent with it. She wasn't pushy. This was just kind of like the thing that she did to like. We have interesting childhoods, and fitness was like her way of dealing with that.
Is this the same sister you had to talk with?
Mm-hmm. And so it's like, so fitness kind of just became my way of dealing with like the life that was at the time I thought was handed to me. You know, it's like, okay, this is just who I'm meant to be. This is just kind of how things are gonna go. But I got fitness that I can lean on. And it took over. Fitness was my first addiction, you know, before I knew that I was going to be addicted to anything else. And I regret not a single thing about it. Like it has been the best part of my life for a multitude of reasons. You know?
When you realized that was your addiction, like your first addiction.
When did I?
If you remember.
So I think that I was like, whenever I was just training before I became a coach, I didn't really know. And then whenever I was coaching, I didn't really know. When like it came down to like one of my biggest wins, and there's this guy named Bobby who came into the gym one day, and he's like, man, I was in this horrific car accident, and I don't have any feeling from, it's basically like right above the knee all the way down like to the tips of his feet. He's like, I don't have any feeling there. And he's like, I just want to be able to live a healthy life. You know, I have a wife. I think this was even before he had his kids. He's like, you know, I want to have kids one day, and I want to be able to be there for them. I'm like, okay, cool. So we worked for a while, and I remember saying one day, he's like, Bobby, I think I'm gonna teach you how to squat. And he's like, that doesn't make any sense. I was like, I literally can't feel the ground. And I'm like, no, we're gonna teach you how to squat. And we got kind of creative, and I made some apparatus for him. And I remember that there was a day where like after a few months of training, we got Bobby to put like 135 on the bar and squat it. He was assisted by. So we essentially took a freestanding squat rack, and we put him up against a wall, and he would use the wall for kind of like a support for helping him on the way down and help him on the way up. and like the look in his face whenever he did it, like that was the moment I knew it's like, okay, this is that dragon that I'm gonna chase just for the rest of my life. You know, it's like we did this thing that this person thought was absolutely impossible, and he knocked it out of the park. I didn't do it for him. I didn't assist him. He knocked it out of the park. This was his win, and I just got to bear witness to it.
What your proposal?
Well, in the tools, you gave him the tools.
Yeah, he told him we're gonna make you squat.
Just like in a program, they can give you the tools and they teach you how to use them. But if you don't use them, you know, it's on you.
That's fucking awesome. Cause who would anybody else have made him squat?
I look, man. I don't. There are people out there that can make it happen, but that was my win. You know, that was that piece.
You made it happen.
That was that piece that I'm never gonna forget. And it was that anchor that I'm gonna have for as long as I live. And that shit's cool. And I've got a ton of wins as a coach.
But that's
that one. It's like that's that holy shit moment. It's like,
yes.
Oh, I might actually know what I'm doing.
Yes. And he had that same holy shit moment when he did that squat. Mm-hmm. That's fucking amazing, man.
Dude, that's clutch, dude. That's So how can people find you? Tell us about like everything that you have going on, like each business.
Okay. Shit.
This guy over here, dude.
Let me get
I
this.
kind of
Yes.
He's like Jay-Z.
So
He's got like eight businesses.
My personal Instagram is tryharder365 TRI because I used to do triathlon races.
Ooh.
Yeah, don't do that no more. Man, I'm heavy. My food business is Chomp NOLA, Chomp_NOLA on Instagram. I
love the logo, by the way, dude.
Yeah, the fitness business out in Kenner is at Scorch60. The online nutrition business is at Riot Training Systems. And then
he's not done, people.
The new gym is at Vanguard _Fitness _Elmwood on Instagram as well. And then we got websites for a couple of them that you can find too.
Right, like and the I know you were telling me about the online business, coaching business. Is that still going pretty good right now, or is it?
Yeah, that's going good, man. It's been consistent. It's one of those things that I honestly don't even really advertise much. I don't talk about much. I want people to be able to come to me, and the only reason I put like a label and a logo to it is just to give it life. So that people know that it's okay to come up and say, it's like, hey, I'm interested in these services that you provide outside of the gym, you know?
Right.
And it's like, because I do believe that, you know, some people they need
to go a little further.
They need something standardized for them. They need something that is going to help them evolve specifically, that is not going to be in a group fitness setting.
Right.
It's like, if you have specific goals, you need specific metrics and you need specific training, and that's the whole reason that's there.
Amen, dude.
I do some in-person training still, but like that's minimal because my time is also minimal. But
right, I mean, it's just
that's
like,
involved in it too.
It's just like when you were coming train with me, I was like showing you bodybuilding because you had like muscles you wanted to develop, and I was like, man, this dude doesn't need to fucking like he's already a beast. Like, why do you want to come work out with me? We like, oh, I want to build up this and that. So there's all levels of fitness, which is cool. Like, you know, like if I wanted to get back into CrossFit, I'm gonna go to David straight up.
Well, we don't do CrossFit, but it's
sorry. What for people that don't know, what is it like technically? How do you describe it?
Short answer is it's a
the type of training.
It's still
because everybody thinks CrossFit everything, right?
No, it's still a functional fitness style training, but more of an emphasis on bodybuilding, on muscular development, so that we're not just like overtaxing the muscles through high ranges of reps and things like that. So we do
functional training. Yeah,
we do more of the isolated muscle group development too than you would see in like a normal like CrossFit style gym.
Right. So you incorporate more bodybuilding, and I like that. I guess when we were training back in the day, you were kind of like figuring out those ideas, huh? Like you already had it in your head.
Yeah. So look, man, Tommy is an absolute wizard when it comes to programming, and he is constantly evolving his style. But like it is one of the most complete programs that I've seen outside of like my Scorch60 program, and they're just two different types is what they are, but like it is every bit as complete, and it's great to watch, and it's great to see how like the members have been receiving it.
Are you gonna put Scorch into Vanguard eventually, or like where do you plan on moving? Are y'all gonna move or stay, or what are y'all doing?
We'll see what that looks like.
Oh, tight. Dude, well, I really appreciate you coming on tonight, dude, and sharing your story. Rashawn, you blown? Mine equals blown.
I love it. I'm motivated.
I really appreciate you sharing everything with us. This guy's got like, we're gonna like next time he comes on, he's got like more stuff. All right, he's not done. This is just like a short script. How long have we been on, B? 142. Nice, almost 2 hours. So David is gonna come back on and share more, and we appreciate you coming on, dude. You got anything else you want to say to people? Because I don't know.
Nah, man, I think that's it. It's like one note. If you listen to this podcast and you had some moment that you felt some type of way, like you're in a dark place or you don't feel like you have anybody that you can talk to, like reach out to Eric or reach out to me and just say, it's like, hey man, I need to talk and let's make some shit happen. Like, don't just sit on that. Don't just feel like you're alone in the world and that you don't have anybody else to reach out to. If you're afraid to talk to somebody who's close, if you're afraid to be vulnerable with somebody that you know, reach out to us and like talk to a stranger and let's see what that does for you.
Wait, what's your IG again? Or?
It's Try Harder 365. It's a private account, but just send me a message.
Well,
I'm gonna find it. And
like you could you could like message me at the hair trainer or at Eric's ADHD experience on Instagram, and I'm public, so I check all my stuff. I'm kind of weird. I'm always like, I guess I'm like looking for validity from people. I'm like, oh, I want to be in the know, so I'll see it and then I'll relay it to David. And thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
This is a great night. I appreciate y'all having me.
And just let them know, man, no judgment. We're not here to judge your situation, nothing. Just we appreciate David coming, being transparent. Because it's hard for men, like we said.
Because me and Ray been
tough.
Been friends since we were 7, since we were little. I said, hey, bro, this dude you about to meet tonight, he's like one of us, and it's just like he was amped up, man. The wife, thank you, Dolly, for letting him come out tonight because she's got the boys, and appreciate Brandon on the young Jamie status. And Alyssa and my wife and my dog, because like we have fans, people, and David has fans, Rashawn has fans, everybody's got fans. So thank y'all for supporting us, and hopefully y'all enjoyed it. So thank y'all.